We are back on our extension today, and believe it or not, we've just had a huge deluge of rain, and it's I'll put the camera on and look at it. Blue skies coming out. We've got Craig here today, the electrician. Now, you wouldn't have seen him on this channel yet, but you would have seen him on the last extension I did on Mistral Builders, and he's the one. Now, you won't believe it, he's an electrician, and you caught him sweeping up, and I think his words, not mine, were, "I'm not used to doing this," or I haven't done this before. So let's see if he does it on this job, shall we? Let's have a look at what we're up to, and then I'll put the plan on the screen of what he's going to be doing today. So the first job myself and Luke did this morning was to take a brick out, to have a look to see what depth cavities we'd got, and then to see whether there is a continuous lintel going between these two windows. And the answer to that is, it's a big bag no, which we're a bit gutted about, because we thought if this one goes all the way through, we've only got to put a front lintel on. But there it is. We're getting some calc sorted out now to put a steel in. Isn't a problem, so we'll sort that out. Laser set up, and Craig is going round now setting up all his double socket points. As per the plan you can see on screen, quite a detailed plan, which is always good from his point of view and from my point of view, just to know what we're doing. We've had discussions with the customer about what's happening in that part as well, which is the existing kitchen. Because if you haven't seen anything before now, we're knocking through here into here. This is going to be like a clothes drying storage area, and then there's going to be cupboards here with washer and drying, big tall cupboards to section it all off. So that's what Craig's doing here now. Are you enjoying yourself yet, Craig?
Fantastic, mate. Love it.
Okay, that sounds really enthusiastic. The sunshine's come out for you and everything. Look at this. What me and Luke are doing now, and even more so now because the sunshine's come out, we're going to put these cavity closers on, get them fitted in here, ready to go, because next week the windows doors being fitted, and then we may, depending on weather, go upstairs on the scaffold and finish the tiles on the roof that have got to be compoed in, that we talked about the last episode we were here. So let's do that. So I thought I'd show you. So what we do is we put that goes in there now, does it tight to that?
Yeah.
But I think what we're going to have to do, first of all, we're going to have to get one that is obviously cut to the right length to put one in, so it at least works.
One job, that's all I had. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say now. The sun shines out and everything.
It looked quite well,
Look, look lovely it goes in, but it's just, 6 inches too short. That's all. Not a problem. We'll just cut it again and buy some more. Well, you may have caught it on the last footage. It was a pretty vile day last time we came, and we couldn't then bed the tiles on because we would have made a right mess of all the brickwork and the roof and everything, because it would have gone everywhere because the heavy rain came just after we left. So we are back today. It's a quiet Saturday morning, but very sunny and ideal weather for doing what we're about to do, which is to bed these tiles on to make sure we are then 100% watertight. Before we left, we put slate on the roof just to try and make it better, because the DPN that we used, or DPC we used, was blowing off because it's quite windy here. So let's have a look now what we're going to have to do, and Luke can tell us if he's got any tips maybe for telling us how we do it.
I've got a nice icing bag for repointing that I'm going to show you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you bake cakes as well?
I knew my spare time, yeah. I like eating them as well.
So there's our slate we put on, just to make it a bit more waterproof, because when we put the DPC on there, the wide DPC, it was just blowing off because it blows over the hills, comes across here this way and just blows, and which is why we ended up screwing all this down last time, which is, you saw that footage anyway. So, but if you didn't, I'm not sure if I showed you now, what we've done, we've gone right on the inside of this upstand and put a washer and put some lath, wrap the plastic, and put a bit of a hump in the middle, look, to get the water out, but it's still catching water. But who cares, it doesn't matter, because next week we'll have a lantern, a week after we'll have a lantern on there when it comes. So there we are, and we're 100% watertight. So Luke, have you got any initial tips for us for when you redoing this kind of thing?
Yeah, so basically, get all your tiles and everything as clean as I can. So I'll be cutting all the mortar off these, making it all really clean.
Rebedding them bricks there, yeah, pointing them in, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably get a bit of PVA as well, just to prime and get all, just suck all that really dry, horrible dust off them. So give it a coat to that.
Doesn't then suck the moisture out your compo and then not stick, I suppose.
Yep. And then I'm going to cut all the tiles to the correct size, dry lay them in.
Yep.
And then once I've done that, then I'll take one out
Start
each
at the
individually,
bottom
start at
and-
the bottom, lay it. Bob's your uncle.
So simple, and fan is your aunt, apparently,
Mm-hmm.
as the saying goes. We've got to do the same over there, but we've got to introduce some lead over there and put the lead soakers back in, so we'll do that as well. Is there any need, now we've got some Expomet, haven't we? Is there any need for this, that you think, or?
We could put them in if you want, yeah. Just
Well,
I suppose
not-
it's a
well,
bit
not
of an
if I
extra.
want it, if you want. Do you think we need to?
Well,
Is what I'm thinking.
it wouldn't hurt too, would it?
Well, we are now carrying that bit of a thing there on the roof, aren't we,
Yeah.
on our main beam there, so that's helped a little bit, because if you remember there was a bit of a horn there, a bit like that one there, look. Bit of a horn sticking out, and that's why we reckon they've dried out over the years, and that's what's then caused this to crack a little bit. But we're going to put that right, and we'll decide if we're going to use Expomet. How far we're going to go up, because we're going to disturb a lot, and
Yeah, so
maybe grind it out maybe, and
Yeah, so it's cracked to about there, I suppose, so
yeah,
we'll put a mark and we'll grind that out.
yeah, just to not disturb them, and then just feed it in and compo up to it rather
Yeah.
than, you could end up going all up the roof, couldn't you?
You could never stop, could you really, I suppose?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to clear out in the room down there, get it completely clean and swept out, ready for the window fitting next week. That's exciting.
And I'll make some noise and pretend I'm doing something up
Just
here.
tap the hammer and they'll
Yeah.
come up and go, you've done nothing. Yeah, just watching TikTok.
Top my tan up.
So hopefully you've caught on the bit of a close-up time lapse there of Luke bedding these tiles on, recutting them all. You had to take one lot out because, as you can see, it was a bit stuck together, but it was a nice clean cut, so we just lifted it out. He's bedded all those tiles on there now, so we got a full bed, pretty much the depth of all the tiles he's put in. And now it's time for pointing, isn't it?
Yep.
Pointing, minimum 25mm bed.
Yeah, if it was just grinding out and repointing some of this,
Right.
then I'd grind it back. Yeah, to like a minimum
25
depth of
mil
that. Yeah.
minimum depth, because if you don't, the frost will pull it back out again.
Yeah,
It's
and it
pointless.
won't last 5 minutes. Yeah.
So if you get anyone doing some pointing for you, make sure they're grinding the joints out, because if they're just going over the top with a bit of compo, it will not last, despite what they tell you, because they'll be lying. Right, you're going to show us something now, aren't you? I've never
Yes.
seen before. So have a quick look at it.
I've got my
Now, this is
Icing
something I've
gun.
never seen before. Well, I have, for people baking cakes. This is a Marshalltown pointing bag, is it called?
grout bag.
Grout
Like,
bag.
yeah, it's what
Okay.
it's called. Yeah.
And you prefer to use this rather than the guns? Why?
Yeah, I just find it's a lot more easier to use. The guns, I always think they tend to just push the water out
Right.
of the mix.
Just by
Where-
putting
yeah,
pesticides and stuff in a
yeah,
more lime
and
or whatever.
Yeah, and I find these far more easier to use as long as you've got fairly wet mix.
Okay. So obviously normal pointing, it'd be quite dry, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're doing it off a trowel, but with this, I suppose
Yeah.
you can.
And what I like about this is you can really force the mortar in
To get it right
So
in-
you're going to
in.
get it a lot deeper in than just using a
You
pointing
point
trowel.
it and push it in with a trowel.
Yep, then that's so.
Let's have a look at it. Have
So-
a look at the demonstration.
Yep, so what you got to do, fill your bag to how much you want. Squeeze it at the end. And then fire it out.
Oh. God, I'm so childish. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look at it then. Let's have a look at it in action, so to speak. Oh yeah, you can get right in, can't you? With
Yeah.
that? And I suppose you could push it in with a try and then do it again, I suppose. couldn't you,
Yeah,
right
yeah,
into-
yeah. This is just a really good way of just really, yeah,
Forcing it into,
forcing
the,
it
into the
in.
gaps, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent. So you're going to do that then?
That's what I'm going to do now. Yeah.
And then you'll finish off with a trowel.
Yes, yeah, and then I'll smooth it all over. This is just a good way of really getting it in. So, mine's got a bit dry at the end now, but
That comes with age, apparently.
but there you go. If you,
Oh, God.
so childish,
Yeah.
Richard.
I know. I need to grow up. But why should I?
And that's so much quicker than a pointing trowel as well, isn't it? Getting your stuff
It
in.
is, absolutely. And so, in that then, you just... Is that a 4-and-1, is it? Because it's external, or?
I've used a 5-and-1 on this.
5-and-1 on that,
Yeah.
okay. And then you've obviously put plasticizer in it.
Yeah, just because the
Makes it a bit creamier.
Yeah, sometimes from some like roofing merchants, you can get a proper mortar that's designed
For that.
just for verges and and everything like that, and valleys, but it really dries really white.
Okay.
So I've weakened the mix slightly just to try and match them with this older stuff, because otherwise it'd be bright
stand
white.
out
It's
too
going to
much.
stand out like a sore
Okay,
thumb.
fair enough.
So
And you put plasticizer in it. It's
Yeah.
always good to plasticizer
And
or
PVA.
lime
and PVA.
and PVA.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
just to make it stickier.
Yeah, stickier.
Okay.
Because otherwise, when you're pointing against something that's really old and dry, like if I was repointing like a gable wall or something like this, you'd have to soak the wall so it really wets the mortar that you're going to bind into, and,
Right.
put PVA in the mix.
Have you put PVA on the top of that and on top of the tiles, have you, as well?
I've PVA'd onto the bricks that I was,
on top of the
Yeah.
bricks before you pointed it,
Yeah,
before
yeah,
you laid the tiles onto them.
because they'd been mortared before and they were really dry.
Right, okay.
So I've PVA'd this, but the tiles will be fine because they're,
And you did that because if you didn't, it sucked them, we've already said this, I think it may suck the
Yeah.
moisture out of the compo and then it wouldn't adhere very well.
yeah.
Okay.
So, but I find these guns really good.
So you just roughly trailing it off now?
Yep.
I'd say the word rough, but you you're going to trail it off, but at the minute it's a bit wet to finish, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you just make sure it's fully bedded, and then leave it for a bit, let it dry, and then come back and sort of finish it.
Because if you're using that bag, you need it quite wet, but at least then you can really get it,
Force it right in, yeah. It's no good trying to force it in dry, is it?
It is not.
No.
Lubrication is the key.
Excellent.
Go up in place.
Excellent. So this side is complete then. That's all pointed up nice. And once that's dry, that'll all blend in lovely. We have completed this side, however, we filmed nothing because, if I'm honest, once the crack on, it's Saturday and we both need to go home now. So what we've done is, we've decided to, if I can try and find a footage of this corner before we did this, it didn't look the best, if I'm honest. I wasn't happy with it finished like that, but I did say I'll put lead on it. So what we've done, we put, made sure we've gone up the roof, bedding them on. We've made sure we put our lead soakers in, as you should do, on your tiles. Put some new ones in where some were perished. And then we decided just to tidy this end up, was I'll cover that horrible plastic trim up by scalloping some lead and then finishing off with one just around the corner, just to finish it off like that. And I think in the shadow, you can't really tell, you might be able to. I think that looks a lot better, 100% tidier. It did before. There we are now watertight. Just going to brush this guttering out now to make sure we're not clogging up and compoing a big ball of compo there once it gets wet if it rains. But I'm happy with that now. So next time we're back, we will be putting the lantern in, because I won't be able to capture the windows because I'm not here. However, I might leave my camera and see if the lads want to set the camera up. While we're here today, and before we go, we've decided to cut the brickwork down there and down there in readiness for the knockout. I like to do it now because we can, any potential dust, which should be stopped by my vacuum, so we're going to plug that in. We're going to use Luke's new tool that he bought, his Evolution disc cutter, which we talked about when we were doing the slabbed area. So if you haven't seen that video where we're talking about it, it'll be on the end screen. So we're going to use that. We're going to plug my Hoover into it to stop the dust. And what I'm saying is when we cut this now, when we do come to the knockout and the windows and doors are in, there's no build up of dust, because it doesn't matter what you do, even with that Hoover, there'll still be dust. Plus, when you've got steels in, I don't like to then go hammer and bolster all the way down there or end up stitch drilling. It's easier just to do it now. Internal brickwork, you got no choice. It is what it is. But of course, when this comes out, you can then snap them from the top and try and get them a little bit tidier, or you have to stitch drill it. But at the minute, we can't get in there anyway because there's still a kitchen across the other side of there. So at least we're going to get one side done and get it prepped readiness. So we're going to have a go at that, see how this fares, sucking the dust out this saw, and we'll show you and see how we get on. So I'm back today for the first time, and I've been looking forward to seeing all the windows and doors in. So as you can see there, other than the tape being removed and the glass hasn't gone in yet because we've only literally just started fitting them, so we've got to put the two pieces of glass in there still. And Andy, who you wouldn't have seen yet on the channel, I'm not going to ask him to say hello or anything, but Andy is our preferred window fitter, and he's there, and he's just getting all the tape off these because these windows are finished, so they'll leave him to it. We are here also today to do the lantern and the flat glass, which has been delivered while I've been away. So that's in sort of box of God knows what there. All of our track and everything's there, and this is our glass for the lantern, and there is our flat glass. Sean will probably stay faced away from the camera. You wouldn't have seen Sean on this channel yet, but you have seen him on the other one, sort of, when we were doing a job this time last year. So he's here just putting his list together to do all the heating and water needs, so hot and colds and heating pipes. We've got a big rad going there and a flat rad going on the wall around the corner, so that's what he's currently doing, so I'll leave him to it. I'm going to get some of this out of the way so it's not in Sean's way, and then myself and Andy, stop and start, will be up there fitting this lantern. I'm going to start with putting the flat glass on first. So I'm going to do a bit of a sweep, a bit of a tidy, so I'm not standing in little bits of stone. This is just from when we put the plastic over the top, and I put the blocks on there, so there's a little bit obviously going on the roof. I've just been sorting out with the plumber first. So as you can see, the existing kitchen at the moment, what I've had to do is I've had to take some of the ceiling down just to give him access to find his hot and cold feed, and then try and find out where the heating pipes are, which are in that bedroom there. So we've obviously knocked out below to try and find them so we can pull the heating pipes into here. So that's what I've been doing for, and there you can hear, if you can hear it in the background, a bit of a drilling. He's trying to get his feeds through into the extension. Andy the window fitter is just finishing off the glass in the bifolds, and he'll be up here with me then when we come to do that. So that is our next job, but this one I can do on my own, and it'll only take me 5 minutes. So let's have a look at that. I think it goes without saying really that he's going to make sure everything's clean and dry. We've just made sure that since we put this in and this roof was installed and the frame went in, it's kept dry. What we don't want to do is start trying to put mastic on top of the treated timber inside, which is I'll call it the second stage of defence, if you like, against weather, because your first stage goes on the top here, top of the rebar. You can see on the screen now how it forms. Your mastic goes on the top first, and then it goes in the rebar as well. So what I will do now is I'll get the flat glass up, I'll unpack it, and I will talk about what type I've gone for with Tuff-X, because that's what I've used again for this and the lantern. Now the lantern is made by a second party, or third party, sorry, should I say. So they make it for Tuff-X, and Tuff-X supply the glass, because as you may or may not know, If you've been on the channel before, you'll realise when I've used them before on the other channel, they are a glass manufacturer and they do all types of glass, from shower screens, bespoke ones, right through to all manner of, you know, commercial glass. So I'll stick the link in their website. But as I said to you, or mentioned on the channel before, when Andy the window fitter quoted for these two, he couldn't believe the price that I got these for. He couldn't beat it. So it's definitely worth a look and giving Tuffex a try. So right then, what we'll do now is, like I say, I'll get the glass up, we'll unpack it, and we'll fit it. And it'll take me, it's took me longer to get my tools up here and get ready than it is going to fit it. Let's give it a go.
How come we seen two hours, mate? Right, you got it?
I have got it. Thank you very much. That's it, another tenner on your bill. And there we are. It's that simple. Okay, so that's the top. So as Sean carries on down there, hello. As Sean carries on down there, he just set it out for the first fix. Myself and Andy have now jumped up to look at this lantern. So we've taken the plastic off, give the roof a bit of a wipe so we don't tread on little stones or anything and potentially damage the Sinofil. And what Andy's doing now is just unwrapping the packages. Now it comes 4 pieces of glass, and then all these packaged up nice and tidy. As you can see, it's all wrapped so it doesn't get damaged when you're during transit. And a little box of fittings, and you do get sent some instructions to put it all together as well. So what I'm aiming to do is, I know nothing about this at all. Andy knows a lot more. Andy knows nothing either. We're going to say Andy knows nothing as well, just to cover him, just in case. Ultimately, Andy's done this multiple times before, but not this design, and they all differ in design, the way they go together. However, the thought process is still the same in terms of you have to put a beam down first and then everything comes off that. So we're going to talk you through as much as we can to tell you whether we believe or not Tuffex lantern is any good. Now, I've paid for this myself, I haven't been sent it, but I have used them before, as you know, and I want to give you as much information as I physically can. Now, I haven't put my flat glass in yet. That's going to go in after. We thought it's our best weather at the minute is better spent on this, and the flat glass can go in whenever, because I'll just keep it covered like that for now. So we're going to unpack it, and then I will get Andy on camera, hopefully, to give me his thoughts on what he thinks of it as he unpacks it. Like I say, he's done it before. So we'll go through that now, and then we'll talk you through in a minute. we didn't quite get that done 100%, and I'll talk about that shortly. Now, you would have seen a bit of time lapse of us moving around, putting it in, but we didn't film it as in step by step for a couple of reasons. And again, I'll go into that shortly. However, what I want to point out to you first off is this is what happens if you don't pay 100% attention to the instructions. Underneath there is a trim that you have to put in, a 2-part trim, and it's got sticky glazing foam on it. And we put that glass in thinking we knew what was happening. And we should have put this on first. This should have gone on first, because this lips into a channel in there and then holds the glass. And we didn't, so we cut that up. So make sure you pay attention to your instructions and not go ahead and thinking, I know what we're doing, we're just going to do it. Morning, Craig.
Morning.
So we didn't get a chance to finish and get all the top caps on, so all we did was we got a bit of lead and we just put some over the top there just in case it rained, and we didn't want anything getting in, because down there's channels anyway, so that's all good. So we're going to get this done, get this on first, and then we're going to talk to you about what we think about this in terms of the whole boxing, the whole packaging, everything, what we think about it. So we'll get this finished and we'll talk to you in a bit. So it's happened, the inevitable. If you don't pay attention, and it's 100% my fault, triangular piece of glass, we had to take it out because of our cock up yesterday, and as a result of not paying attention, things like this can happen. I've just smashed a piece of glass. I've been straight on to Tuffex, who have very kindly managed to get one on a quick order for me, and it's coming in a couple of days, so I'm really pleased about that. So thank you very much, in particular to Harry Pittum, I believe his name is. It's on the screen if I said it wrong. So thank you to him and Tuffex. So we're going to continue cleaning up just to get all the glazing foam out of there, and then we'll just sheet it over for a couple of days, and hopefully next time I won't drop it. Well, you've seen it here first, folks. That is now a Sparky with the Hoover. You're not going to believe that, are you? But it is. I've caught it on camera. I have. You can't deny it. So I just thought I'd give you a quick update internally after our, I'm not going to say ours, I'm going to say my faux pas with the glass. Bit annoyed because it's lovely weather today and we could have got it finished in the nice weather, but there we are. So the Sean has been round and done all our pipe work now for radiators. He's put this bit of Hessian backed and back stuff behind there. It stops the transfer of heat, apparently, heat loss into your blocks. So there we are. As you can see, electric's done. Got our outside sockets going out there. All the capping on, ready to go. All Sean's got to do now is just got to tape these. Once he's pressure tested it all, which he's going to do in a minute, he'll tape all these then, put tape over the top. And again, it's to stop any kind of dabbing and that going over the top of the pipes, apparently. So we done our pipe centres as per a recommendation from the manufacturer, or the place where we're getting the heating from, the radiators from. And everything's set, a cold feed for the washer, outside tap. Yeah, so there we are. We're just running everything else now, finishing off. He's doing all the lagging in the ceiling, because we've run plastic in the ceiling, because we've got to come all the way through and all the way into there. So he's put plastic, so we've got connectors in one place, joints, in one place rather than copper. So that's why we've done that. So at least we know if anything's going to leak, it's going to be sort of there where that joins that. And likewise over there. And there we are. We're just getting the pipes through into there now to pick up the hot and cold, which is in that corner, as you may have already seen earlier in the episode. And we have now found in the, there's our other radiator there, look, flat radiator. Yeah. Craig has just finished core drilling up there, which is going to be humidifying and extractor fan. Did you say humidifying and extractor fan?
Yeah, humidifying.
All in one?
Yeah.
So it does both, it comes on if it recognises humidity? Yeah. It's clever, ain't clever? So we took all this scene now, as you've already seen earlier in the episode, and we have now picked up we know where the heating pipes are. There's one there, and there's one there. So we're going to punch through now into here and connect our feeds into there now. Well, apart from that, just want to point that out. That's got to come out, that's wrong. It should be black internal, in case someone goes, white panel with black frame. That's why, it's temporary. What else? Andy is just finishing off the doors, because he's been helping me with this lantern. He's come off this, so he's back onto that now, getting his rubbers and things set in. Poised, ready for action. Where's the brush? We haven't caught the plumber sweeping up yet, but I can tell he has. I can tell you, in his defence, he has swept up, he cleaned in there, and he mopped. This is the kind of people I work with. People that don't normally, but they do in this job. So there we are. I'm lucky, you know. You're not lucky. So we finished our day off yesterday, and I've put the broken glass, because it's laminated, in there, and put the top on just to waterproof it, because we thought that was the best option rather than putting plastic over the top of it. So when that turns up on Friday, and what will be next episode now, because it might not turn up in time for me to edit the video to get it on in time, so I can't show you in this episode, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame because it would have been this episode. A bit gutted about that, same as the flat glass over there that hasn't gone on yet either. We just had to cover that temporary. So there we are. We had a bit of progress inside though, so I'll go and show you that. A bit of a better day than we thought we were going to after breaking the glass first thing yesterday, but we managed to get our connections on for our central heating, and that's all pressure tested, which means in there now Sean's more than happy that all his pipes are tested and we've got no leaks. Then what he did, he has temporarily put in a bit of pipe there just as a bit of a to make sure everything in there is connected up to the cold water system, and then link the hot and cold to test all that in there. So again, he's more than happy with all that now as well, which I'm really pleased about. So that was that day, all finished. And that is the end of this episode. And as you can see behind me, I got all the insulation and all the board adhesive and the plasterboards in last night, luckily, because it did rain. So we will catch up with you on the next one, where we'll be finishing the lantern. So therefore, putting the glass back in, putting all the fire trims on. And we will be having a chat with Andy, who helped me on this, the window fitter, to give us his opinion on the Tuffex lantern, even though, as I've said, it's actually supplied by Shearline, which are in association with Tuffex. So we'll get his opinion on that. And then what you'll also see next week is this. Finally back together. After a bit of while, it's all been together. But we'll be here on the next episode together, trying to do something. And if it's a bit of a look at what we might be doing, there's a set of acros there for you. So we can have a bit of a guess at what we might be up to next week.
Holding up my sandwich. Yeah.
It's a big sandwich. It's a good sandwich. And it's just been in the old sandwich maker as well. It smells lovely in here. It normally smells of farts, but it smells like melted cheese at the minute. So we'll see you on the next one.
Hey, put me off my food then. No.